Early in the morning, after taking care of guard business regarding our newcomers, I put my personal hang-ups about churches aside to ask Father Xantus for advice. The Goblin Ration incident and its potential implications hasn't stopped weighing on me. When he assured me that I would be fine and it wouldn't be a problem even if I succumbed to these new instincts, it felt like a weight had been lifted. In substitution of the usual donation for a priest service, Father Xantus had me do some chores around the grounds, and afterwards I decided to try something. The rooftop of the cathedral is probably the highest spot in Sandpoint, and from up there, I took flight.
Though I had a busy day yesterday, I still had more paperwork to deal with at the barracks. During my routine, I noticed how one of my reports was done flawlessly, even though I did not write that report. Concerned, I tried to make it happen again by doing a full inventory of evidence and lockup. As more pages seemingly wrote themselves while I wasn't looking, I spent a good portion of the day trying to figure out who was writing all this while the sheriff stepped away for personal business. After many hours attempting to catch this ghostwriter in the act, I realized that I could simply communicate with this mysterious writer through written words. The ghostwriter then wrote to me that he calls himself Zerdan Okur and shares a lot in common with me. Almost as if he was me. Afterwards, I let the ghostwriter work away in the night while I tried to think how mythic power could do this.
When Ameko went to the town hall for the reading of Lonjiku's will, I went with her, figuring that the events were still recent enough that she'd appreciate the support. It should have been a routine settling of her father's affairs and estate, until the executor revealed to Ameko that she had one other remaining sibling, a sister in Magnamar, the city I grew up in of all places. Even more shocking, the executor declared that Ameko has 6 months to find and produce this other sibling. If she can't, the Kaijitsu estate and glassworks become foreclosed as the property of Sandpoint. Returning to the Rusty Dragon Inn, we retired to our room to deal with the emotional impact. Let's see. She said the strong stuff was on the bottom shelf, hidden in a cheap flask.
Left alone with my mother, I wanted to know how she was able to afford renting out the entire tavern. But what I wasn't expecting was to find out that she lied to me for 6 goddamn mother years to toughen me up because of some fudge. Giving me Runelords' journal as a present because she was right about her hunch. Nope. No, I can't do it. I'm going back to the woods for another hour. That how could she do this?
Following Bella, I wanted to be sure she was okay, and didn't do anything hasty after hearing that truth for the first time from her mother. I tracked her out to the forest, and eventually had to step in when Bella's reckless deforestation almost crushed me. Though it took a while for Bella to calm down, I was there to be the friend she needed to help vent her frustration in a productive manner. And what better way than a lumberjack, sawing some fallen trees into some nice housing lumber via a 2-person saw. Once her overwhelming energy fizzled out, we sat and began to talk through all the remaining frustration and confusion.
If Uxio is the one to wake up first, which we have said he's an early riser before, I think he would take that time to write a letter to his sister.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Tia, by the time you read this, I'll have set out for Magnamar.
though I have no way of knowing how long it will be between this letter's arrival and my own. The past 2 months have been a chaotic whirlwind, to say the least. Far too much for a single page's worth of information. The least of it, honestly, is what's bringing me back home. I've gotten into a relationship, and my better half has learned that she has a sibling in the city. I will admit, finding them is what's prompting my return, but on a personal level, learning this alongside her has me regretting that it took so long for me to write to you. Nearly a decade is too long without contacting my younger sister. I'm hoping we can meet up, face to face. I have no doubt, with your drive, you've become a minor celebrity of your own. So I know to look for you around the theaters in Low Cleft. If I can't find you there, I'll check the Triodia. And if you are there, then hopefully I can catch your show. Regardless though, I am looking forward to seeing you. Uxio Woodard.
Well, 8 hours later, you wake up fully quote-unquote rested. Do you want to go talk to Bella's mom real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Over to the tavern. I suppose she would just be in the main room.
Yeah, she really hasn't moved. She's still at that table. Uxio, even though he's an early riser, he's currently in Miko's room writing his letter. So, Ranrua, you have the floor.
Yeah. She will go up to Alexandria, just a... May we converse in a private room?
She looks up. She thinks for a moment. She just stands up and says, certainly. She carefully puts her quill and notes down, waves her hands over the table, and then follows you.
Okay, so, of course, going to one of the empty inn rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm curious. What is it you know about me that has not been explicitly stated to you in some form?
She looks at you and she seems surprised. I don't know what you're talking about. I only know what Lancella has told me.
And what of the magic you had used on me?
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. I've only been casting spells at the table, and mostly stuff for keeping notes.
I suppose Ron would think about that for a moment, thinking of that hallucination, and likely suspecting that it was primarily thoughts of her own concern being used against her. Like that she would think of it in that way. Well, as far as she is concerned, her awakening of inherited power fascinates me. I would actually do quite much to test it, foster its growth.
Diplomacy.
Shit! An 11.
You can use mythic power.
Okay.
Nothing says you can't do that. Like, you've got 7 uses.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just add the surge. Okay, a little bit better. 14.
She's like, I'm also very interested in Lancella's new power. So why don't we do this then? I assume you can read and write. Yes. Is that rude to say? Okay, thank you.
I very much can.
All right, well, why don't you come with me? I actually was hoping to call a meeting with every one of the Angels of Sandpoint, and we can start working out ways to develop, and then we can also investigate your powers as well. I know enough about Mythic to understand what it can do, but not necessarily like where it comes from, et cetera, et cetera. And she starts rattling off very academic things that just kind of like...
She's gonna basically hold her hand up, like, just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't exactly told everyone else, but power I have was a gift from Lamashtu.
That's huge that you've mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you re-roll that diplomacy.
Okay, that's better. That's all right. Soft 20.
She stands up very slowly, and she comes towards you. The Mother of Monsters granted you your powers.
In part, most of my power that I care to use is that of my forefather. Referring to, draconic bloodline.
Yes. Lancella mentioned that you had draconic heritage. I'm way, way more interested in the mother's involvement.
It is most recent, so it is a curiosity of my own as well.
She said, what face did she have when she spoke to you?
She thinks about it for a moment. The jackal.
Describe to me, great detail. I need to know everything. She waves her hand, and you hear the of the door locking as she pulls out a notebook and starts noting everything you say.
As far as a description of Lamashtu, she would provide basically the description that would be from the most typical statues of her.
Right. But did Lamashtu conjure herself before you? Did she manifest? How did that happen? You mentioned speaking to her.
'Twas of a visage. She did not physically appear. I only saw her within my mind.
Describe the visage. She's encouraging you, hurry, come on.
Yeah, the visage of that Cheshire grin is really the only other description that she would have for this.
She's tapping her fingers and feet. What was the landscape like? And did you see anything like that? And how many times did you see her? She's like, give me details, woman, come on!
The first vision was before the fort of Thistletop. It was a darker, horrid landscape for me. The second time was in her altar, within Thistletop. That is when she gifted me her power.
Okay. She's asking about, the landscape and stuff, too. Are you going to describe? Essentially, you saw the birthing hills. Are you going to explain that?
I don't think that Ronro would actually have the words to say that's exactly what it is, but probably the best approximation that would fit.
She's like, all right, then Alexandria will explain to you. Yes, all right, what you've described is her domain. That's called the Birthing Hills. Very well. Do you know about your kind's creation?
I know that the creation of Ambiance has something to do with her, but I never studied it. Most religions are not my interest.
She says you might want to consider it because your kind was birthed by Lamashtu herself. You are, although you have a draconic patron somewhere, she just hand waves that, you do have a direct connection to Lamashtu herself. Or she doesn't actually say Lamashtu. She's very careful about not saying Lamashtu. She'll say the mother.
Yeah. And perhaps I would be most powerful if I would embrace both sides.
She says, well, keep me informed. I'm very interested in what your journey will uncover. Tell you what, she goes ahead and she starts rummaging through, she's just got pockets among pockets, and she pulls out a compact mirror. She hands it to you and says, this will be the fastest way to get a hold of me.
Oh, this is a single scrying device of your own?
I'd say yes. I would say so, yes.
That's the closest reference she has to it.
Yes. You speak into that, we can communicate through it. You pop it open, and is in fact a cute little compact mirror, like, where you can apply makeup.
Interesting. She will actually put that into the makeup kit that she stole from Lyrie. It doesn't mention that part, but she does put it into the makeup kit.
Excellent. Keep me updated on what your patron and now apparently matron have in store. I would be very interested. Thank you.
Very much find out.
Excellent. All right, then. And dear, if you could do one more thing for me.
What would that be?
Give me a will save.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, 19's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you want to use mythic power as well?
Sure. One more, maybe like one more surge. That is 1. Okay. It's dirty 20.
All right. That was pretty good. Anyway, you guys leave the
Aren't
room.
you under a -2 from the last time you got a whammy on you from her?
Oh, that's right. I wouldn't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Wait, wouldn't that mean she was at a -2 during the house stuff?
I wouldn't worry about it. Anyway, you guys leave the room.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. I think on the way out, she will say, "You have provided well enough information. My name is Runelords. I come from the Cinderlands." Giving herself a proper introduction to Bella's mother.
She gives like an overly friendly smile. She says, "Alexandria, I'm from Galderia."
So, Zerdan, if your bowels can handle the walk from the barracks to the Rusty Dragon when we're done with Lyrie, we'll want to grab lunch.
Sure, that would be an improvement over the daily rations at the barracks.
Seems like a pretty slow day overall, so I think we can probably relax.
Definitely could relax after all that has happened. Have I missed anything while I was dealing with side effects? What have you been up to lately?
Not much. Been finding my way with Father Xantis and Ameko's help.
That's great to hear! I'm glad you have the support of such amazing friends. Just let me know if I ever need to cover a guard shift for you and Amiko, huh?
I'm not so sure we'll need me to do that.
It's all good. We've been protecting Sandpoint for some time now.
About half a decade for us both, if I'm not mistaken.
Almost, but I believe you have a year or two of seniority over me, actually.
Time passes. We'll just go with that. Hecht, Father Xantis has brought you a note saying that Bella's mother would like to speak to you, and Father Xantis says that you should probably go speak to her.
I'm never coming out. Slam. I'm kidding.
Finally having her belligerent teenager year.
Oh, okay. But of course, Father Xantis, I'll go and meet this woman.
Alright, you guys are in the barracks. Lyrie, she is not shackled. She is being treated very well. And she has basically got a seat at, like, this table that you guys are surrounding.
Oh.
And Alexandria points out, "So, I have been doing nothing but poring over old notes, Thessalonian and otherwise, and I believe that all of you should develop your powers more. I know it's not," she chuckles, "I know it's not a surprise to probably hear that, but essentially, as mythic creatures, you have an obligation and a duty to see where your broken destinies take you."
So, in other words, gaining mythic powers traded out one destiny for another.
Essentially, yes, but now not even the gods can decide what your destiny is going to be, but at the very least, not the gods we're aware of.
Oh.
She says, you technically have a destiny, and essentially no one with mythic powers obtains them on accident.
Uh-huh.
Hecht shifts uncomfortably hearing that.
As a Uxio.
And here I thought Sandpoint was supposed to be a quiet, peaceful town.
Sandpoint still is. We're somehow not.
Yeah.
She points out, I understand that this young woman, she points at Lyrie, is currently wanted in Magnamar, correct?
Pathfinder Society, to be precise. And the evidence is circumstantial at best, from what I can tell.
Well, I can't tell you how to do it. It is my professional advice that you don't turn her in.
I was inclined to do that because of Warwick's help in the fort. But anyway, I'm sure I can come up with something to tell the Pathfinders or Magnamar.
Do whatever you can, but I strongly suspect that this many people with mythic powers were brought together for a very important reason.
I remember last stream, Alexandria mentioned to Bella the whole time travel staff thing, but has she mentioned that to anyone else? This talk about power.
Essentially, she's going to catch everybody up with like what she's told Bella. You guys all kind of know about what's going on. She also mentions that she has given Bella Aslantis.
It's a last nest. It's a last nest.
I hate this character. Well, the thing is, I'm gonna slip and give you the wrong idea, so I'm gonna make sure I get it right every time. She has what she believes to be a Lasnis diary, and she points
Her
out
dairy?
Diary. Shut up. She points out that no matter what she ever did, the spell book cannot be read through magical means, and it's written in an ancient Thessalonian, and it's always been a mystery.
So ancient Thessalonian, that's even more so than what current scholars have a hold of.
Correct. And, you know, we've tried to, like, use comprehend language and, like, all sorts of various things, but we never could get that thing translated. However, considering all of you guys now have mythic powers, you're getting tangled up in all this Thessalonian nonsense, I think it would be best if you guys were given the book.
Wow. That is, like, phenomenal. Like, ah, damn.
She
The
says,
impossibility to read it sounds like the last nest was very, very protective.
I imagine so. She was the Runelord of Wrath, after all.
Well, Runelords in particular are just very competitive. Like, if I remember correctly from the lore read, it was they were so powerful that they had to use mortal champions to fight out their battles lest they scorched the Empire.
Oh yes, they were basically gods of their time.
That was quite a while ago. I am not a scholar, but how much has magic changed since then?
You'd be surprised. Magic does evolve and change within the weave, but like I don't know if the weave is correct for Pathfinder, but it does largely stay the same.
I was wondering how much the difference in their time compared to ours might mean they're weaker than we actually expect, but from the sound of it, it would be about the same.
I vaguely recall one rune lord decimating a country with a single wish spell.
It's on par for wish, isn't it?
That's powerful for a wish, yeah. So, well, she also points out every single rune lord had contingencies for their own death. It is very unlikely that, even with the Earthfall, it is unlikely that any rune lord is truly dead. And if their artifacts are popping up again, there's a good chance that those rune lords are going to come looking for them.
Okay.
And we will certainly need to be powerful enough to face them.
True.
Exactly, she points out. So I have, based on what Blancella has told me, I believe each of you at this point have your own paths to power. She points to Ranrua. We discussed earlier what your thing was. I believe you should continue looking into that.
I shall.
Mr. Okura, we have not met before, but...
True. Yes.
But Blancella has told me that you created a potion?
Yes, and I admit it does have some side effects, but the result is mythic power, and that's a small price to pay for that sort of thing, if I understand correctly.
That's interesting. Would you mind if I take a look at this potion?
The potion is already drunk, but do you mind if I ask for your resume as far as what other academic organizations you've worked with? Because I know Galduria is a thing, but I'd be kind of hesitant if you were anywhere related to the Academy.
Oh, certainly. She, has a briefcase, I guess, and she hands you her resume, and essentially she's only worked at Galduria for the last several years.
Okay. That's... because it's only for so many years that she's worked as an instructor at the university, correct? Or academy?
Yep. You can
Twilight Academy.
Yeah, you can take a look at it if you want, with a thing.
Linguistics to make sure it's legit.
Sure.
Alright, and survey says... so 29 versus whatever pluses she has
add
on
the
her.
magnifying glass.
You do have the magnifying glass?
Does it add the freaking linguistics at this point? I could have sworn it was limited,
no,
yeah.
It's perception.
Yeah. Yeah, not until I get it modified.
Everything seems in the up and up. It's mostly just accolades and references to other professors from it. However, based on your experience in academia, it does seem put together correctly.
Okay. Okay, this is legit, and I'm kind of trying to make sure it's relatively okay as far as timeline.
The resume only includes things that she's done at the Twilight Academy. The thing that does stick out to you is that there's a lot within just 6 years. And this is fairly common. Every academic does this. Either she has self-importanced everything she did and kind of BS'd it. For example, I was a cart pusher at Walmart, and what I would put on a resume is organizational engineer or something like that. It's academic bullshit, but it's good bullshit. Okay. And each part of the resume is also signed by another professor that you at least have heard of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I definitely see you have some recommendations, and though the resume is a bit flowery, it's feasible.
She smiles and thanks you.
My apologies. I just had to be thorough since my time at the academy, but... and obviously this is the recipe for a mythic potion, so... tough to reproduce, obviously, but still, not wanting to leave it in the wrong hands, so...
Okay. Are you handing it to her?
I will produce a copy, but... oh, since we are trying to be forward with our powers here... I'm gonna write something here as I pull out my parchment and write down copy formula to this page I put down on the other side. As I kind of put the page down and then just... if everyone could just please look away for about a minute or so.
You...
I'm not even at the table.
What the heck is he doing?
I will fast forward this a little bit if that's okay with you.
Yes, obviously. So, because the end result is essentially the thing already being written down, right then and there.
Yeah, you basically demonstrate that you have, Tom Riddle, writing shit for you. But yeah, no, essentially you manage to show it off, and people are giving you mixed reactions. Auric is not really impressed. Lyrie is bewildered. Miko is just confused. And Sheriff is also just unimpressed, mostly because he doesn't quite get how impressive that actually is.
And also how he's seen it before, probably.
Yeah. And Shaylee's just huh.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been dealing with a bit, but I've yet to try out more experiments, but still, that's pretty useful for someone like me.
I mean, it makes sense not all of them are flashy.
Would Rodro be able to understand it a little bit better simply because of the potion?
Yeah, Arcana, and I'll give you a +4 on top of it.
And you're also the same mythic path.
Yeah.
Yes. Similar mythic path. Okay, so that would make it a 19.
Okay. The speed on which it's occurring is really telling, and the fact that it's basically occurring at the speed of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Which is definitely a big deal. There's no magic that you're aware of that behaves like this, so it's definitely mythic. It's just very quirky.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
It is occurring as you think it.
That is what I have seen, and it's more effective when I write it out for the ghostwriter, as I learned to call it.
Alexandria is eyeing you very intently, trying to drink in everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But obviously I'd like this to be between us, everyone in this room, correct?
Of course, I won't tell anyone.
Because if the Academy found out about this, they'd probably try to have me in a basement somewhere, and they'd suddenly have a lot more spells.
Magnamar found out about it. They'd want you to replace their printing press.
Believe me when I say, the mages of the Twilight Academy have absolutely no interest in sharing this with the Corvosans.
Okay. That's a relief at least, but any other questions, or...?
No, she's just kind of eyeing the paper. She explains to Bluncella. I will say, I've been flubbing her calling you Bella a lot. So
Okay.
She is calling you Bluncella every time at this point.
All right.
Yeah. So that is me flubbing. So I'm sorry about that. She says, I believe that your necklace is the key to your powers. I believe, based on the research that I've done, that you are holding Alasnus, what she described in her books as her finest creation.
And what?
She just shrugs. If you continue to develop your powers, I think that it's going to be through that.
I would guess that development of power would also bring Alasnus closer to her, closer to us.
You sound a bit too eager for that.
Runelords are fascinating.
Yeah.
I suspect you might be right. We just need to be on our guard. Yeah, she points to Uxio and says, Dear, I don't know how to tell you this.
As long as I don't need to be drinking blood, I think I can handle it.
She thinks for a moment and says, I suspect, rather than just drinking blood, there are other activities that people of your bloodline participate in, other than blood drinking. May perhaps you start investigating through there. Amiko gives Uxio like a gentle squeeze, like, a supportive one. We'll figure it out.
Smile at it. Well, we are going to be heading to Magnamar anyways. Maybe someone at the Seer Stone can help. They specialize in divination, after all.
Ugh.
Oh, I'll need to go to the smithy, Magnamar.
Right, that reward you got from Fox.
Yes. Should be able to make something quite useful out of it.
And then you, dear. Her quill kind of falls to Hecht.
Yes.
I spoke to your father, and we're both in agreement. And lo and behold, he's right there, because I forgot to bring him in.
Father Xantis.
I forgot to bring him in.
Father Xantis.
Surprise!
Here we go.
Surprise,
Ah! Father Santos, when did you get into the jail cell?
I don't know. I just kind of popped up in here. It was open. Okay, well, that was easy. Father Xantis comes in, and he's like, Hecht, I think you need to continue your journey with the angels.
But, Father, what about the temple here? Don't you still need me?
Gonna be honest, no, not really. No.
Ah, goddamn!
Wow!
No. I will not lie to you, Hecht. The temple could use a great many things, but the angels need you more, and I think you need them.
I think I understand, Father.
Alexandra points out, yes, I believe that your journey will be taking you to Magnamar soon. Mostly for Lyri and Amiko, but let's call it a hunch. She gives a polite grin again.
May I roll perception to see if there's more than just a hunch there?
Sure.
Can I roll that too?
You can.
Would I get any bonuses because I know my mother better or not?
Yeah, you can have +4. Recontextualizing your whole life. Thinking back, whenever your mom says, I have a hunch, man, it's often a lot. Like, a lot. To the point where you don't remember the last time she said that she wasn't absolutely 100% correct.
A hunch, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Care to elaborate?
Do you not get hunches?
I mean...
Not like yours.
I'm sensing some hostility, dear.
Gee. Really?
Father, are you sure that we shouldn't just take them back to the church and have them sit down for some counseling?
He's like, I think the matter between family should be solved between family first. And perhaps we're making this awkward.
Yes, shall we walk back to the temple for now to leave this situation to simmer down?
Alexandria interrupts. I think we should stay on task. Yeah. Do you have any other questions for her? Because otherwise, Alexandria is just kind of getting stared down by Bella.
So what did you have in mind for this task?
Nothing. You're just going to... You need to go to Magnamar to clear Lyri's name, correct?
Well, I'll have to handle that, and I know the others have their own business, so I kind of leave my hands up in the air for others to elaborate.
Assuming we have nothing further to discuss here, preparations should begin.
Actually, Sheriff Hemlock comes forward. We have not been entirely honest with you, have we, miss? And Alexandria sighs and says, no, I'm afraid lying has been a big part of what I've been doing lately. Sheriff Hemlock slowly reaches under the table and pulls out a giant cake and puts it on the table. When he does, balloons, streamers, banners all drop as it says, "Thank you, angels," as a giant banner drops down and you're surrounded by friends and family.
What?
Essentially, you guys all get kind of flash mobbed by everyone significant that you care about in town.
In town, okay.
In town, yeah. Turns out this is the Angels' surprise party that Ranrua heard of a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm. And of course did well enough to not say anything about it.
But yeah, it's basically congratulations, heroes, as this room that you're in, like this war room, I guess, is now suddenly full of people, and you are being hugged, congratulated, and hand-shooken. There are 17 people here, at least.
Including the people that were in the jail cells are now out here shaking our hands too. It's so weird.
Kendra comes forward, and she essentially stands up on a platform and starts giving a giant speech about how wonderful it is that the angels showed up in their hour of need, and that as a thank you, they plan to raise a monument to you guys that would even make the mayor of Magnamar blush.
Interesting.
Somehow this just fills me with dread.
Such high praise from a very notable mayor.
Essentially, the party is happening. I'm just kind of getting this out of the way. Yeah.
I suppose after the mayor has had her speech and Runrua has probably had one slice of cake, she will then slip out of the party to go to the lumber mill.
Give me a...
The sneaky?
Give me the sneaky stealthy.
6.
Essentially, like, a couple hours go by, and you eventually sneak out. No one really stops you. By this point, so many people are sloshed. Before you go, though, Kendra announces that she owes each of the angels basically a giant favor. So she will grant you any request within her power to do so. So think about that before you leave for Sandpoint.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely what.
I bet you that she is going to say something like more funding for the cat house.
No,
I
don't
think she might be more avarice. No, that's not the right word. Or rather, that's not how you pronounce that word.
Avarant? I know what you're trying to say, but like, yeah.
Basically, Uxio's gonna imply that he's not her. She would want to share that money.
Yeah.
Father Xantus puts a hand on Hecht's shoulders. Hecht, may I ask you something?
But of course, Father. Anything.
Forgive me, I'm not up to date on my various texts. Why do you come down so harshly on Lady Renrua's lifestyle?
He does it so whimsically without any thoughts of other people.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she thinks about other people quite often during her business.
I thought the same thing and was trying to avoid it.
I was like,
Yes, as a plaything.
I was actually about to say that too.
uh,
Father Santos, I don't think she does it for them. I think she does it because she gets paid to.
well, Abadar himself does teach that that is a legitimate business. It's just, it fascinates me that you've taken it upon yourself to do that. I'm not going to change how you think, but it is interesting.
It's just that she could be a bit more focused if she actually followed at least one of the goddesses or gods in what she's doing.
There are gods and goddesses who quite appreciate someone who offers those services. Perhaps
I agree.
Perhaps it should be part of your journey to learn not only from the wisdom of the rest of the angels, but perhaps you could learn some wisdom from Lady Renruin.
Hector's going to look at Father Xanthus. I doubt I will learn much wisdom from her, but I'll keep that in mind.
Wisdom comes from everywhere, my child, and I think you'd be surprised what you can learn.
Fair enough.
Okay. Speaking of which, Kendra approaches you and Xanthus, and she's basically asking you, what would you like as your, essentially your wish, essentially. She can't grant a wish, obviously, but she, you know.
Just to make sure that the temple never gets set aflame again.
Father Xanthus laughs and says, my child, a gift for you. What do you want for you?
But that would be my gift for me.
Kendra, now about 3 drinks in, goes, of course! Anything for the father in the cathedral. How is Uxio handling this party?
So the funny thing is,
Mhm.
if he hadn't officially gotten into a relationship with Ameko, he would be literally trying to stick in the corner where people are less likely to notice him, if that makes sense. Like, darkest corner he could find.
Mm-hmm.
If not straight up use that new wild shape to turn into a snake and sneak out.
Mm-hmm.
But with everything that's happened with Ameko, not just being in a relationship with her, but the news that she got hit with,
Mm-hmm.
he's doing his best to make sure that she's having fun.
She's kind of being a good girlfriend, too, in the sense that, like, she's definitely a social butterfly, but she's, like, holding your arm the entire time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Kendra comes up to you and says, hey, Uxio, what would you like for your wish?
In and out of character, I'm kind of stumped because Uxio is a man of very simple taste.
Do something simple.
Well, as a joke, I thought about saying wedding ceremony, but that seems a bit on the nose.
Yeah, it's a bit much. You can ask that if you want. As like, Uxio could be 3 drinks in too, because he's like wildly uncomfortable.
Huh.
Do you want to do a sober check?
That.
You want to do a sobriety? Yeah, do a sobriety save.
I assume that's like fortitude. Which,
fortitude, yeah.
Heads up, that is my second best with only 1 point off from my reflex.
Ah, so what should we make the DC?
I default to 15 on most weak things.
Uh-oh. That's only a 12.
Yep. And I'm not going to bother burning a surge for it. Like, Uxio is drinking more than he normally does. Without thinking about it, he's going to be like, wedding ceremony.
Done! As she walks away.
And since Ameko is holding onto his arm, she heard.
No, I know. I'm aware. And then she comes up to Zerdan, who I'm guessing is chatting with his 2 friends. What is Zerdan doing?
Yeah, I guess I'd be chatting up with Shaylee. Oh, where did Shaylee go?
I don't know.
She was there a few seconds ago.
I just clicked on her and she's gone.
Oh wait, she's. I see her like down there, but
down where?
She's not like
Vash.
over down here in the south.
Way down here by Foxglove.
Stop.
How did you get that?
Turn
How did
to
you get all
ashes.
the way there?
Where?
How did
What?
you get there?
What?
Over the other side of the bridge.
I literally just click. Okay, whatever. I'll bring it. Kendra comes up to you. What would you like? What is your wish? What can I grant you? I am the Djinn of Sandpoint. She is now like 6 drinks in.
Oh,
Wow, she's accelerating.
maybe I'll leave us a note just for you to consider later, but I'm not personally interested on stuff for me. I'm more interested in stuff for my hometown now, as it is, to where I can contribute to the community and, I don't know, maybe make an outreach center for those who wish to improve their life.
In Corvosa? She...
Oh, no. Like, I'm planning on living here for now.
Oh, she grabs you. She's like, oh, thank the gods. Because fuck
Why
that.
would I go to Corvosa? It's a hell on earth.
I know! That's why I was so confused.
Oh my god.
Okay,
But
yeah,
yes.
we'll open up the Zerdan Youth Center. Yeah. Or Okur. Your last name's Okur. The Okurian Youth Center.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Got it.
We can work on the name. We can work on the name later.
Before Sheriff Hemlock can attempt to, like, maybe escort her out, she stumbles over to Bella and Alexandria, who part of me is hoping they're just still staring at each other. Frozen. Yeah, tell me what's going on.
Honestly, I'm not sure Bella would be participating in the party if her mother was there, because it went right from Bella calling her mother out on her shit to surprise.
Right. So, yeah.
Bella may not be there at all.
Fine. You are allowed to leave.
Yeah, I think Bella might have left, like... She might not have participated at the party at all right now, I'm gonna be honest.
What would you like to do then? I'm feeling bad, because, like, I'm trying to include Bella, but I don't know what would be best for her at this point. Like, I'm a stump GM, bud.
I think Bella would be heading back to her temporary residence to sulk. But if someone wants to come talk with her, they can.
Roll a d4. That's the obvious one.
Evan.
Yeah, it would be. Alright. Evan, after 30 minutes of you disappearing, eventually does show back up, and he's got a small box, and he just kind of sees you sulking in the corner. Are you reacting?
What?
He found a folding chairs in this time period, kind of rare. But
he found one.
He acquired a folding chair from the barracks. He says, "Don't tell anyone, but I got our first piece of furniture, roomy," and he puts it down.
Bella will roll her eyes and then just kind of rest her head on the wall.
He does not sit in it, but he does put the cake on the seat part, so you have like a table. He stole some cake too. Man, you missed it. The mayor lady is giving out wishes. Apparently, I think she's a genie. Not sure.
Well, sure, great. That solves us the paperwork issue.
Oh, yeah, that would have been better.
Better than what?
He reaches into his pocket and then he gingerly puts a piece of paper on the table.
I will pick it up and read it.
It is a check written to you for 2,000 gold pieces for a +1 butchering axe.
Evan.
Yeah, I may have cashed in both of our rewards for that one. I could take it back.
No, it's all right. We can just go through the process.
He's like,
I
no,
guess.
you have no idea. I'm real good at faking drunk. Plus, I don't think that mayor even remembers it. We could ask for a second wish tomorrow, probably.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, maybe I will. He says, like, just kind of like...
Hex suddenly appears and starts just glaring down on Evan.
Thank God Heck isn't here right now, otherwise she'd be glaring at me. He starts silently digging into the cake, and he's like, there's a lot of this, and I can't eat it. But I heard you... How much sugar can a mythic person take?
I have no idea.
He turns around and he pulls out like 3 more boxes from his backpack. He's like, let's find out.
Oh Lord.
You know what?
Sure.
You guys pig out on cake. On your brand new folding chair. Randrua.
Yeah.
You arrive at the sawmill, and sure enough, you enter. Boy howdy, it does seem like a special occasion, because you get to the sawmill, and Banny has set out just dozens of candles. Big space has been cleared, and there's now a big old bear rug on the floor, and... yeah, essentially, this is the scene being painted. You walk in, Banny is standing at attention, and he is currently making out with Katrine.
Oh, you prepared a lot for tonight.
Special occasion. Katrine, she turns and did not realize you were there. She reacts about what you expected. Very, very surprised. She's more excited than he is. I'm trying not to make this weird, man. So I will say it's a lovely evening. You can roll something funny if you want to.
Okay, go on. 24.
Excellent. I'm gonna say you made their night. Yeah, you made their night. Good times.
Yes.
After good times, you do eventually leave.
Okay.
And then Katrine and Banny are there. They're gonna stay a little bit longer and do their thing. Cool. Everyone give me fortitude saves. Let's assume that you drank a little bit.
Nat 20!
That one!
Oh! Uh-oh.
That's a lot of cake. That's a lot of cake.
Evan also stole some good booze too. Amiko's like, my second thing of good booze. Like,
You know what?
How does he keep getting it?
he keeps getting like. I think that's gonna be the running gag. Is Evan keeps accidentally stealing like Amiko's best shit.
Oh, jeez.
She plastered.
She is plastered. However, I'm going to assume that Uxio is a gentleman.
Oh, very much so.
Cool.
But I do like the idea that she got plastered after the whole wedding ceremony.
No, absolutely.
Like, she just got so flustered over that's when she got plastered.
I will say, Uxio's a gentleman. Nothing occurred, but you guys do wake up wearing very little. Like,
You mean less than Uxio already wears?
yeah, we'll go with that. Things have progressed, but we're not at the moment of achievement yet. If we can, the credits have not rolled on this dating sim. Okay, like that's.
Stuart, I got a perfect example.
Yes.
It's the Austin Powers scene. In the first movie, Well,
That's right. That's right. No, yeah, that's right. That was a very cute. I
That
love
works
that.
perfectly.
I love that scene. That's a great scene, actually. Amiko's like, we're gonna get married, and Uxio's like, you're drunk. The night goes on. You all have a great time. You're at full HP. We're gonna even give you guys all of your favorite food bonuses.
Yay!
In the morning, Het, you are awoken by Father Xantus frankly pounding on your door.
Yes, okay, I'll be there in a second.
Het, my child, hurry. Last night, there's been a murder.
All Father Santos hears in that room is now scrambling from the bed to the door and opening the door. What do you mean there's been a murder?
We're being summoned to the barracks. Hurry.
But of course, Father Santos, lead the way.
Hemlock will knock on the door of Evan and Bella.
What? What the fuck do you want?
Deputy Bella, your services are needed. And you too, Evan. Oh, I'm not a deputy?
Don't worry, Evan. You're my favorite deputy.
You're my favorite deputy.
I'm gonna guess Bella's hungover.
You are absolutely hungover. Evan stands up, goes outside to talk, and Bella, you can hear this conversation happening. As more and more is being talked about, Evan rushes back to you and says, "Wake up, we need to go." And he he starts carefully, you know what I mean, like that friend dressing you, like he's getting you your boots and stuff.
All right, I'm going. Ugh.
Zerdan, you have entered without knocking. You are at Amiko's door, and as he knocks, Uxio, you answer.
Uxio, we've got urgent business now.
What happened?
There's been a murder.
Night. Like, as you're saying there's been a murder, he's just like, what happened last night?
Well, what knowledge would I have for how good I did for fortitude?
Zerdan, you can roll full knowledge.
Okay, and what kind of knowledge would that be? Like
Local?
Arcana? Local.
Yep.
History, okay. So survey says...
Zerdan, you pull Uxio out, and as you explain the situation, Uxio, you are sensing, oh, this is a problem. This is a full party thing. You guys gather up, and you head south, and being led by Sheriff Hemlock and Zerdan, Sheriff knocks on the door, and summons Ranrua. As Ranrua comes out, you all surround her, and Sheriff Hemlock says, Ranrua, you're under arrest.
Oh.
And what for?
I knew she was going to be trouble.
You're under the arrest of Banny Harker and Katri Vinder.
Oh, this is not the direction I thought it was going.
Whoa.
Standing outside are all of your friends who have been informed of this.
Oh no.
Along with Auric.
Oh boy.
All right, are you going quietly or?
I mean, there's way too many people capable of killing me. It's not worth the fight.
Okay.
Like, Runrua can very much size up a fight that is not worth the trouble.
All right. Sheriff Hemlock comes forward with the shackles and puts them on you. You know, they're not fuzzy. Zerdan takes your spell component pouch and everything else. Zerdan, do an Arcana check. Basically, you are trying to remove anything that she could use to fight you guys back.
Okay, 1 second. Apparently I know everything.
You guys raid her room.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh!
I'm gonna use that.
Oh my god! No, you
better.
Holy shit!
That is not good for me.
No, they find everything, bro.
Out of character, I'm not sure exactly what all we find. I just know it. You.
Well, you find. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna take you guys. I want to take it over here just because the map is looking crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're at the station. So I'm trying to specifically remember everything that you have. You've got the makeup kit.
Yes.
You've got all your stuff, your weapons. Like the
There's
the only means of contact that you had with your patron was the compact mirror.
Well, the mirror is what Alexandria had just given to me.
Well, what did you use to contact the dragon?
I don't remember specifying an item for that. I think it might have been like some kind of incense-related equipment.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's like a visual kind of thing?
They managed to find that. Yeah, you've got her stuff, and that arcana, like, he knows it's magic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not mean for this to happen this way, but
Yep.
It comes with a warrant, unfortunately. I'm sure things will work out for everyone's benefit.
Alright. You guys make it to the station, and Sheriff Hemlock will basically reiterate the situation to you and say, Renrua, last night you entered the sawmill with 2 citizens of Sandpoint. There are several witnesses that saw this. And you emerged a few hours later, and this morning, the bodies of both of those individuals were found. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
I procured a matter of business, which was agreed upon with those 2. And I very much left them alive.
Well, then I'm going to need you to explain. I'm going to need you to explain yourself. Like, you just went there, conducted your business,
Mm-hmm.
and then you left.
Yes, that is what happened.
And
Now that I think about it, the other day, Bernie had mentioned something about the owner of the Pilba being quite furious at him and the woman.
You're suggesting he murdered his own daughter just because of what Banny was doing?
It is not my business, but it is quite possible.
Sheriff Hemlock says, perhaps what you're saying is true, but the damning evidence that we're concerned about is this note. And he produces a piece of paper. And it says this: I do as you command, Master. And written underneath Master and right above the signature is Master Renrua.
I have not anything to do with this. There is not anyone of my thrall within Sandpoint.
I mean, this is going to sound much more crude than I mean for it to, but was there anyone who enjoyed your services a little too much and maybe got jealous?
Despite how many may or may not have enjoyed my services, I have not issued commands to any of them before or after.
Renrua, I'm saying they might have thought up their own commands and attributed them to you. And I will point out, Uxio has never really gone along with Renrua, but seeing this, he's even like, I don't think she's at fault.
And just to be clear, can you describe what path you took on your way back to your residence, as it were?
Oh, you meant physical path. I thought you meant...
Like, I mean, like...
Describe!
Did you slither, or did you just jump along your arms, or whatever? Whatever Lamias do. I want details, damn it!
From the sawmill, I made my way back to Pixie's kitten, as I would. If there is anyone who may have been too eager for my services, it would be their cohort, Ebor.
Okay, but we can focus on him later. Alright, well, we'll check with him for his testimony on this, but you kind of skipped over some details. Did you not see anyone on your way back to the Pixie's kitten? Because I don't think it's dead quiet when you're walking back to the kitten, right?
I pay not much attention.
Mm.
I maintain my own business.
Well, you're glad I'm a thorough investigator here, and we'll make sure we get to the truth of whatever this is, okay?
By Abadai, you best hope that Sir Dan does prove you not guilty.
Besides, I still need to look at the scene.
You guys essentially head to the scene of the crime, and I'm gonna need to start reading flavor text.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
The sheriff will point out that they will bring Ranrua along so Ranrua can show exactly her path from the place back to the kitten.
Oh yeah, he's got that's a bit of a spoiler, ain't it?
Yeah, that's kind of spoilery. That's what he looks like.
Oh god.
Covered in blood. Okay.
Yep.
Is this American Psycho?
Oh my god, it does look like Christian Bale.
Oh my god.
You're not wrong.
He didn't put on the plastic coat.
Check to see if there was a business card at the scene of the crime.
Is it water shell, or does it have a watermark on it?
All right.
It's finely embossed.
Okay. You guys start walking towards the mill, and a sizable crowd has gathered outside by the time you guys arrive. And some guards are trying to keep people away, but, like, it's a scene. You guys stroll up, and you immediately, like, notice things are kind of wrong. The saw that normally is constantly going is dead quiet, and Uxio, you can smell the stench of blood in the air.
I was about to say, should I roll perception? I've already got Falcons.
You don't need to, bro.
It's strong.
It's pretty
strong
obvious.
enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys approach. One of the guards lets you through as you guys step inside. And as you guys walk in, like, not only Uxio smells it, but now everyone else does. The mill interior is coated with sawdust and splashes of blood. A very gory scene is before you. If you would like, you can give me a survival check. Oh my god, yeah. Hey, Uxio.
Holy shit. By the way, if this is for tracking, I add my bonus.
You could tell that a desperate struggle took place here a few hours ago, because not only does this place smell of blood, it also reeks of rotten meat. You see the man's body pinned to the wall. Harker himself is pinned and practically crucified on the wall.
Holy shit.
The poor man has had several hooks, like, strapped into him, and he's been hung very ceremoniously. The body is mutilated, the face carved away, and lower jaw missing entirely. The bare chest is defaced as well, bearing a strange rune in the shape of a 7-pointed star.
A Sahedron rune.
Now that Rodra is actually looking at this, she's just gonna say, "Oh, you clearly accused the wrong person. This is not even remotely how I work."
I feel like everyone is just.
Do you really want to say that right now, especially around all the citizens of Sandpoint?
Well, it's
especially around the town guard.
It's mostly you guys, yeah, right now.
Yeah.
There's town guard and, of course, Auric. The normies of Sandpoint don't really react, and Sheriff Hemlock, at the very least, did enough to cover your hands in, like, a silk cloth, so it doesn't look like you were escorted in manacles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not only that, you look at Katrine's body, and she has been impaled upon the sawmill. Her mangled, ruined remains lie on the mill's lower floor amid heaps of blood-stained firewood. Essentially, she was thrown on the log splitter.
Oh.
And she's... Yeah, it's describing a very gruesome scene. Like, demonetized kind of scene. Uxio, could I just get a will save real quick?
Oh no.
No particular reason. Okay. That's interesting. Now, if you would like, you can go ahead and explore the area, but those are the immediate and obvious things.
Okay.
So I have something I would like to ask real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up this in preparation just because figured it doesn't hurt to double check.
Mm-hmm.
Could I switch to Wolf and use Scent to tell how many people were here last night and maybe based on how much the smell has faded around what time?
You are at the moment not quite prepared for what you found, and unfortunately Uxio would not think of that right now. He actually has to excuse himself. He runs outside, and
his eyes are dilated because the smell of blood was hitting him.
Exactly.
Yep, fair enough.
Uxio, the one thing you did notice is that there is a set of barefoot footprints on the ground. For the time being, I will say your will save isn't causing you to go crazy, but your instincts tell you that if you go back in there, you may not come out Uxio for a while, and you think it might be best for you to explore outside.
Right. Makes sense?
Yep. Alright, now that's a survival check. The DC 20, thanks to Uxio's nat 20, you notice a set of barefoot footprints. That is part of the evidence that you guys now have.
Yeah, and that's definitely evidence in favor of Ranru.
There would definitely, by the way the scene is being described, there's like no sign of a wide blood trail.
Pretty much.
Like bare footprints, that by itself clears Ranrua because no feet.
Yeah.
Lack of wide blood trail definitely means that this blood got spilled after she left.
All right. Well, I kind of look over to Hecht and Bella. Do any of you have the ability to detect magic here? Maybe we'll have faint signs of magic in the area?
But of course, let me just pull that up.
Yeah, that's outside my skill set.
Just thought I'd ask.
Okay. You investigate inside. There is no more lingering magic inside. In terms of inside the mill, you start looking around. Aside from the mutilated corpses of the victims, there is no, like, apparent evidence of, that you can find. Oh, no, that's not true. Excuse me. You find a hand axe that's been embedded in the floor near the log splitter, as if it was dropped.
Oh.
You look at it, and you see the handle is covered with bloody finger marks. If you want to do a survival or perception, I'll let you see if you can try to analyze whose fingerprints those are.
May I?
By all means, Chief.
Okay. And you know what? Since I've got some time at the seam, I'm gonna make sure I really get this down. Tears to wine. Latent awareness. Alright, well, I'll proceed to take a look here. God, that's a low roll, but,
Alright.
anyway.
You look at it, and you can tell that they're small, dainty fingerprints of a woman, so Katrine must have picked it up to use it. And the big thing that sticks out to you immediately is that you're going to need to make a fortitude save because you smell stinky-ass rotten meat.
Oh, God. Pretty decent. Like...
You, like, retch a little bit, but you manage to keep it in.
Ugh, God, I thought I left this in Corvosa.
Upon the blade is a bunch of flesh and gore, and that is what is producing the stink.
Okay. So it's been definitely used on something, as far as I can tell, correct?
Yeah, it seemed that Katrine, whatever happened, used the axe to attempt to defend herself before she was put on the saw blade.
Would Hemlock be standing like reasonably close to Runra at this point?
Yeah, he'd be standing adjacent.
Okay. I think she would look over next to him. If our suspicions of Ebor are correct, would you have me execute a death sentence?
The sheriff looks at you and says, at the moment, you're still under arrest. Regardless. Even if I personally don't think at this point you're the one who did this, you're still a person of interest. And we have laws for this. If anyone would like, they can investigate the axe.
Well, I'm at least gonna use my tools to try and get a sample of the blood that's been on the axe to see if, like, I can take it to, like, a spellcaster of some sort for scrying, maybe?
Sure. You managed to scrape a sample and put it into, like, a little baggie.
Okay, cool.
I will say the other characters can attempt a certain knowledge check to see if they can learn more. I just won't tell you what knowledge check. Hecht, you actually look at this and you can identify the lingering stink of corruption, which is not what dead bodies produce.
Sheriff Hemlock, a moment.
He comes forward.
Sheriff, there's a lingering corruption essence here. That would not normally be at a scene of a crime like this, would it?
He goes, I've never seen anything quite like this. Even back during the late unpleasantness, this is especially gory. And different.
So, undead corruption is not normal. I understand.
No. He points out, what do you mean undead?
As in the essence that is basically the aura around this crime scene. There's an essence of undead. As if like a zombie or a not to accuse Uxio, but kind of more towards Uxio's presence. But if Uxio was more dead,
I'm laughing. He is not. He is not. He says, so an undead is lingering, like an undead aura is in the area.
Indeed. I'm starting to think that Runelords is, I hate to say this, actually innocent, and that an undead creature is using her as a scapegoat.
I don't believe at this point Ranrua did this, but I would like to find out more. There is Ebor. He's the one who discovered the scene of the crime and reported it. Would anyone else like to look at anything else? There is, of course, the area around here, etc.
I proceed to look at, I guess it's Banny who's crucified up here?
Yeah, Banny.
Alright. Going to attempt to roll history to see if there's been any scenes like this in history that could point to like a particular pattern. If that makes sense?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
Just
34.
Oh my god.
Constantly break 30.
Jesus. Alright.
I don't think these modules were built for someone like Zerdan in mind.
Zerdan is bananas with these skill checks. Yeah, that's definitely the Sahedra rune on him. And based on, like... You know what, actually? The diary that was given to the party by Alexandria?
Oh, wow, that actually comes up?
Yeah! There is a scene in it depicting almost exactly this. Maybe not with hooks, but with other things, with the Sahedran rune carved into someone's chest.
Is there anything that can be interpreted from that particular page or section of the book?
You can tell, between Zerdan and Bella, you can definitely tell that this was some kind of ritualistic, magical, like...
Sacrifice?
Essentially, yeah. There's no other reason not to do it.
And... Is it exactly a match for match to where the guy's face and jaws essentially been cleaved off?
Yeah, Bella, you checked the book, and sure enough, yeah, it's almost exactly like that.
Well, now that's even more telling that I had nothing to do with this.
Hemlock points out, in your equipment, we found a Sahedran amulet.
The lot of us had found that in Thistletop. She kind of looks over to Bella, and I am not the only one who has one.
Not to mention, as I point to Bella with the book open for everyone's attention.
Yeah, but we just got this book.
I don't think Renru had a chance to peruse its contents, as we immediately went into the party.
And no, absolutely not.
I haven't even bothered opening it yet.
But sure enough...
I'm mostly using the book because of the history roll, and I'm like, yeah, that works. It works.
Okay.
Uxio, you are outside. Anything you'd like to check?
Well, something tells me that doing that wolf thing that I suggested to try and check smell would not be a good idea, since the strong smell of blood is going to cause issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of want to just look at those bare footprints and get an idea where they lead. Don't quite follow them yet, but enough to possibly shout to the rest of the group inside that I might have found something!
Yep. Party, are you going outside?
Assuming we've pretty much combed the room, yeah, we will.
You guys head outside, and you see muddy footprints leading towards the river.
You know, something tells me these bare footprints also don't match up to Smokey.
What are you talking about? He wears boots.
He does.
Oh, that's right.
He's just a normal human, guys.
Yeah.
Just a normal guy.
Hmm.
Yep. So you check the pier and the bay, and there are muddy footprints leading to and from the river.
Like on this side of the river or on this side of it?
This side. Although...
Okay.
You can investigate over there if you want. There's a small marsh over there.
I'll have Uxio head over there.
Okay.
And assuming that this would count as survival for the sake of bonus to that.
This campaign was not ready for you guys.
No.
the D, like a DC 15, a DC 20, like, and you guys are like getting like low and high 30s. It's like, yeah, you find it like even sidetracking the mythic shit. Like you guys are just power.
To be fair, without favored food bonus, that would only be a 30, right?
Oh, what a
Only a 30.
Oh yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah.
Those are playing classes that didn't exist when this module came out.
Also,
That's
additional
very
spells
true.
and such. Additional spells also help.
See, a DC 15 survival check made at this point reveals that tracks lead from and into the river, but never away from the site. The spot is hidden by several low banks of nettles, but offers a perfect view of the mill to anyone hidden here. So, the same footprints looking onto here.
So more evidence that it's someone with feet.
Someone.
Well, not.
Someone with
has returned. Carl has returned.
It works.
I was actually going to make the reference before you pointed that out that this would have been the perfect spot to hide and watch them when Ranrua was conducting her business.
Oh, yeah, that is a valid point.
In other words, someone would have been able to see them going at it, know that Ranrua was there, and set up to frame her.
Sloppy.
Hey, Uxio, since you're over there, do you see anything else that may have been left behind?
Should that be like a perception check instead?
Yeah.
With my even higher bonus?
Ooh.
That was a 5 on the
5!
die.
How the fuck? Alright, hold on. What is... You guys are like
Part of it is that I still got Falcon going, and Falcon +4 to perception.
Okay, you got a 15 wisdom. You got how many points? 2 points.
4 ranks. It's a class skill. I've got miscellaneous 2 from being a vampire, and then another 2 because that was what I increased the bloodline prestige or whatever it was called. And then 10th bonus +4 from Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That'll do it.
For sure. Yeah, the lingering stink of rotting flesh hits you. This is not the pleasant blood smell from, you know, the actual scene of the crime. This is a stinky, rotten, disgusting smell.
This isn't just the smell of death. This is decay in the highest form. That is what I notice over here because the smell is... I'm not sure how anyone could walk through the town without bathing in cologne to hide this smell.
Holy shit. Okay, note to self. River bed with footprints and stench on other side.
Any indication of where the tracks go from there?
Towards the mill. This was where he was hiding. The only tracks I see lead towards the mill on this side. All the rest are on the other side.
I wonder if there's anything that may have got dredged through the water.
That's something I can check by taking off Uxio's shirt.
Thank you, Uxio.
And then his abs shine!
Well, I'm just saying Uxio can go into the water once the armored coat and the buckler are taken off, with all the armor bonuses removed.
Alright, so it is a flowing river. I'm going to say... The book doesn't even have this, because the book would not consider someone diving that far down. I am going to say that a DC 20 is not enough to determine anything. You could not find anything.
Fair enough. In that case, I'm going to say that Uxio, as he's coming up, gets washed downstream some and has to get back onto the land in order to get his stuff.
Any luck?
Nothing.
It was a fair try. Because we're still in the lumber mill here, and have we examined like the exterior of this scene?
You pretty much have, yeah.
Okay. I think I'll go ahead and... Because we have a witness. Ivor, right?
I think Ivor is correct.
Okay.
Ranrua is very familiar with this man. He was the Chad that made her see gods.
He outlasted her.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have to wonder how many guys that have been with Ranrua have managed to do anything close to that.
He is covered in blood and quite in shock. He is not really moved. They like put him out here with blankets and cocoa, you know, as you do. Like
yes.
And he's just sitting there trying to like process.
Try to walk up and kind of get his attention before I start saying, "Are you okay?"
Am I okay? No! I just walked in and my...
I just had to check because you were splattered in blood. I wasn't sure if you were injured.
Oh. I suppose that is a reasonable question. Yeah.
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 So, I'm sorry to ask this, but I want to go over the details of what happened that led up to this scene here, as far as how you discovered it.
I was just coming in to clock into work, and I found them.
You found them?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
because you just simply walked in and saw what we saw over here, or in that room, anyway. My apologies.
Jesus, you've got eyes, don't you? Like,
Yes, I know, but could you explain how you had the blood splatter on you?
slipped and fell. Sorry.
I kind of take a look over as... because I'm just trying to make sure that
Right. Maybe
he's totally okay and not anything malicious at all. No.
perception check. Yeah. Oh, what the is this?
I was gonna ask if there was any indications on the floor where he slipped.
Yeah, no, he points to a spot, and yeah, Zerdan, you very clearly find it.
Okay.
Does the splatter match the idea?
There's an Ebor-sized blood angel. I get one look.
No, like, what I was gonna say is, like, does it match the idea that he slipped, or does it match the idea that he laid down gently?
He slipped. He definitely slipped. There's like splats, and he's covered in sawdust and other various things.
Okay. Alright. So, you definitely walked in on this scene. And was that when you went to go get the guards?
Yeah, I scrambled out and screamed for guards, and they showed up, and I'll tell you what I told them. I just walked in and I found him like that.
And how long did it take for you to get the guards? Just so that we're sure that...
I'm sure I screamed like a demon. I don't know, a few minutes tops? 10,
okay.
Maybe? I don't know.
I just had to be sure, because we can go over the room if you want, so that we're sure that no one came in and stole something for whatever reason.
I don't want to go back in there. In fact, it's awfully weird that I'm here on the pier. I think it was just the most visually interesting place to place me.
Okay. But
Bella's
aside...
been in and out of the mill doing work, at least up until the Thistletop raid, if not any times after. Would she be able to spot if something large was missing?
Yeah. Do an int check. I'll make the DC very, very low for you. Int or perception? One of the... Yeah, perception's fine. No, in fact. In fact, the only thing really different is what's obvious. There's corpses there. That has been added to the scene. Bella, you do notice the book is missing. The account books.
Huh. That's weird. The ledgers are missing. She'll mention that to Zerdan after he mentioned possibility of theft. Bella thought, I've been in here often enough. Let me take a look, see if something looks out.
Mm-hmm.
As you walk back inside, Lady Faraz, send these two bodies to your grave, the bones of your god. She's staring a bit, looking at the two corpses.
Mm-hmm. Basically easing their passing.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. She's not, like, going all Lady Death.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's being sincere.
Okay.
Yeah, Zerdan, what are you doing? You heard Bella bring that forward to you.
Okay, just had to be sure that there wasn't anyone else wanting to speak of, but do you think there would be anyone interested in the logbooks for whatever reason?
He gets kind of nervous. He's like, I didn't think it was relevant, but yeah, Banny has been cooking the books for some time. He's been skimming off the top for a few years now, but since the Scarnettis are the owners, I never brought it up because, well, I didn't want him or his family or Katrine to suffer at their hands.
Hearing Scarnetti, Ronro's eyes widen at that. there may be one more Scarnetti. That's maybe one more person to consider for this.
Yeah, you can try to investigate the Scarnettis, for sure. But Banny has been cooking the books, and Ebor's like, you don't think the Scarnettis found out and killed him, do you?
That's yet to be determined. Because there could be all sorts of people who could be after Benny, right? Or... I wouldn't know exactly, but...
Ebor... He's like, well, Katrine's father didn't approve of the relationship, and Banny's wife didn't exactly know either.
Okay.
Oh gods, we have to tell his wife.
Don't worry, we can take care of that for you if that's alright. I'm not sure if you wanted to do that yourself or rather us take care of that.
I think, yeah, the guards might want to take care of that one.
Alright, we'll do that for you, Ivor. I'm sorry for this horrible situation, but is there anything else you think Banny or Katrina could possibly have caused to draw the attention of someone that would want to do this to them?
I would just maybe the Scarnies, or the Scarnettis. If they found out he's been stealing from them, I maybe Katrine's dad, but I can't imagine he'd kill his own daughter.
Yeah, that would be odd. But enough of that. I kind of take one more look over him to see if he's like still relatively okay, had any issues, apparently.
You can do a perception check.
Okay.
With the magnifying glass?
Okay, that's not there. Nope, unfortunately. I think that would be kind of like odd to have in a conversation.
I like that idea. Physically speaking, he's in perfect health. Mentally, though, you have a feeling that this man is probably going to be spending some gold pieces at a tavern.
Alright. Well, if anything else comes to mind, just give us a call over at the barracks. You know where to find a good number of us, so... As I kind of give him a ginger pat on the shoulder, we'll get to the bottom of this and see justice is done.
Alright.
One member of the Scarnettis was one of my clients not terribly long ago. If he was the one sent to do this, then that is one reasonable point of suspicion.
Sheriff Hemlock, how much knowledge do you have on the Scarnettis?
I don't like them. They are one of the wealthiest families in town, but they've always been vaguely connected to trouble. We could never prove it, but mayhaps we should pay them a visit.
Have you ever seen them use anything undead before?
I'll be honest, Miss Hardwick, I've never... I don't know much about magic. Anything like that, it's a bit beyond me.
Completely understand, Sheriff.
So, to my knowledge, the Scarnettis never involved themselves in witchery. I suppose it'd be more the Kaijitsus, like with Amiko, but like that's not like she would be know more about the magic behind their family.
Then I shall say that it was Amiko that killed. I'm kidding.
You're right. Arrest her!
Oh no! What a twist! Don't make me go simping.
I think
Uxio will fight for his girlfriend's honor. He will.
Easy.
I think we should call it a week.